everyone, and welcome back. And here we are with a Smuggler Surprise deck. This is a deck list that my buddy sent me from Twitter. I don't know exactly who to give credit to, but this deck revolves all around Smuggler Surprise. If you don't know what it is, we pay 6 mana to use its spree ability to put 2 creatures from our hand directly onto the battlefield, and those creatures are going to be any of the following: being a River Regent to bounce a lot of stuff, an Overlord to blow up a lot of stuff, a Vaultborn Tyrant to draw a lot of stuff, a Ureni to be a massive giant threat that also has protection from the best removal in the game, and a Progenitus, which there is a glitch that happens today, so be careful if you do try this deck out to monitor what Progenitus is doing in your library, but supposed to be in your graveyard, so who really knows? With that said, this deck has felt really solid, and we're going to dive right into games to prove it. Okay. It's a hand. This is a Magic the Gathering hand, that's for sure. If I control a forest. This enters tab. Looks like probably the life gain deck if I had to. A mountain or a forest. Oh, it's double untapped. Welcome to Amulet Titan, population us. Deep Cavern Bat. Probably going to end up picking up my counterspell if I had to guess. Counterspell typically not a preferred card for decks to play against. Alright, well, that enters untapped regardless. I could end up drawing another starting town. And this will always enter untapped, and I don't really need to worry about a counter spell ability against this matchup. And if I rip another starting town, I can just play it, take another damage or something, and then play the Overlord. But I will say the life gain deck is going to be a bit tough, although we do have, obviously, options to overthrow it. I feel like Overlord is the better option here. Also, it keeps this kind of information quiet, right? So we'll play it. Information unknown to the assailants of my opponent. But then we can play Overlord and kind of shoot something, maybe something larger. An Amalia maybe, but that's obviously bad. Bat. Line could happen. A Shelter could happen. Shelter being kind of whatever. Ooh. A lot of card draw here. A lot of card draw indeed. I think I just want to play the Overlord or play the River Regent. So grab a forest here. Play this. Cast the Esper Origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Protection from black. Deals X damage if I choose. I mean, honestly, yeah, I think the idea is just we're going to slam big spell after big spell, right? And then maybe even do this. They take 1, not a big deal. They take 3. Zorline coming down, going to absolutely slam us for a bit in terms of life gain advantage. But we're here for the long haul, I suppose. They will get better cards for a couple of turns, I think. Zorline obviously coming in. What does Overlord got to be directed at, though? Like, picking up the counterspell doesn't matter. I mean, it could, but now they have so much mana, it really does not matter. So I feel like Zorline has to be the piece, although this is turned on, so if they want to do that, they can. Would, in theory, answer my River Regent. Bouncing things matters a lot, I guess. Answering this is great, but I could also bounce this and this. And this also has flying, so they're kind of forced and obligated to answer it. This is the most expensive card, right? Yeah. Not particularly close. And obviously they probably have like a shoot to Sheriff or something like that. So clearly this could be picked up at any point. This isn't going to do anything on the ground, so it might as well swing. We get to the point where we just have to barrel this card, even though I'm not going to be super thrilled about it. We're 1 short on this, which definitely does suck. There's a Deep Cavern Bat, which can basically pick off Overlord. Could see Zorline, Deep Cavern Bat, and maybe just like tank a 7 or block the 7. Maybe they don't have a ton of removal. Yeah, there's a Bitter Triumph. Willing to discard that because Zoreline, obviously, but we also have another one. You don't go for Deep Cavern Bat here, which kind of surprises me a bit. A bit, though. In all your life, that makes sense to me. Oh! Well, you wanna know something kind of cool? Answering their whole board's pretty sick. I'm gonna Deep Cavern Bat me. Smuggler's Surprise is obviously playable here. So that's pretty good. And now I also have my counterspell with a dragon, which seems awesome, obviously. Sure. And then I can just Smuggler's Surprise in the River Regent and Urani. And Overlord coming up that turn is pretty good too. I wasn't even paying attention to it. I was so focused on what was happening on the board. Do I counter Deep Cavern Bat? Uncounterable Cavern, duh, dummy. Here. Resolves. Here. I guess this doesn't matter, right? But we'll see what our opponent does. What would you like to take? Obviously, it's Smuggler's Surprise. We could have just barreled it to maybe find the land. Maybe that was the better option. Oh, they take that. Okay. Interesting. Life Total is a threat here. Counterspell is useless. Yeah. Go ahead. I do more modes than just one here. I should just attack, obviously. I have, what, 8 mana? We got 3, 7. 8 mana now, I guess. So I can do 6 and Hexproof, I suppose. Which, let's be honest, not that bad of an option. I could have countered these, but I'm not that worried about them. Not too sure, like maybe on upkeep pop all these, but I'm still more into maybe blowing them out with Smuggler's Surprise. They know I have kind of one creature to play off of. Maybe don't know about 2. Deep Cavern Bat obviously answered this, even though I couldn't technically do anything. Wait, it has protection for black, dude. How did Deep Cavern Bat get it? I am fully aware of how that works, by the way. Attack here is super dangerous. Yeah, and they learned it. I one-shot them here. 6, 12, 18. Oh, wait. The finality counter. Finality. I can block. All this can block, right? So let's just do this. Then I guess this. I only have a cavern available. Here's these. Here. Here, and I guess here. Didn't really have to do the case, but I kind of wanted to. And they can take this back. It's fine. Don't really mind. They kind of had to block with it anyway, right? So doesn't really matter too much. Timing a bit weird. Sure. I'll bet. Here. We don't have lethal if we play this and bounce 2 things anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. They can't really let this augur live, and they do. Okay. Down to 8. Barrel this. I'll let go with both of those. Oh, wait. I mean, I think I'm gonna hold it. Don't really need to do much. No damage dealt. Godless Shrine ripped. Game really just became a game on the turn that they got a double draw, but at the same time, it wasn't really a game anyway. Or mattered anyway, because they could have cracked the case and played a bunch of stuff from their graveyard. But I mean, I guess that puts less cards in their hand, obviously. Deep Cavern Bat. Sure. I mean, I guess go ahead. I think the Merc Regent's the obvious one. Maybe I just barrel it. Worse options. Just draw 3. So let's do that. I mean, I go up a card. Sure. I know what cards they're going to take. See you later, buddy. Obviously not much of a choice there. The other thing, too, is pretty good attacks. The loss doesn't really help much. I get 2 free green mana here. Zorline comes in. Not really going to pay for that, obviously. Could probably put the starting town in. They can always shock this in if they absolutely have to. Guess I have no flyer to protect me here. Alright, they go the opposite way. Sure. Life gained, but... 2. Okay. But I can do 5, but that won't cover it all. Actually, we might be able to do a big brain play here. Go here. All right, miss. Come on. For the home team. All right, we win the game. Now we get the ill-time explosion. We get to discard an Overlord, which can do more than I need. If I just discarded the counter spell, it wouldn't be big enough to pop all the creatures. Do 5. Both of these now live, and then I hit them for a lethal amount. Sweet. Get there. First game, platinum this split. Sure. Yes. Plays tap, play, and play. The odds of ripping a 3rd starting town is not great. I don't want to take extra damage, so I might as well just play the breeding pool down. Only have a 1-drop in the deck. I guess you can count Smuggler's Surprise as a technical 1-drop, I suppose. Blue-white, most likely control, which is both bad and good to an extent. Bad because obviously if they're able to just hold counter spells, we're in a lot of trouble. I don't have to worry about Jace anymore, which obviously helps the longer game plan. Smuggler's Surprise is a pretty good play against them. Dispelling Exile is obviously a good play. Could still be like a helping hand deck. I don't know. Turn 2 and now we're in the tank. Maybe not. Maybe they just had to go let their dog outside. Who knows? It's artifacts. Okay. A harder matchup if I had to say. Just straight up blue-white control, which I do play. I kind of enjoy playing against artifacts. I think it's a really cool deck. When a deck like this is kind of viable in standard, it's only viable for so long, you know. A starting town should maybe lighten them up a little to maybe think we're not kind of holding a counter spell. Obviously, I'd have loved to jam the Origins, but letting a synthesizer resolve at any point would be bad. Brother, are you getting coaching from Discord? Like, what is happening? How every time we get to your turn, we just pausing, bro? Come on now. Oh. This is a draw. Double draw. Honestly, I might just counter it and establish my Overlord. I understand the synthesizer gets bad, but I think that's just where I'm at. Gives me a card draw, but honestly, I think I'd much rather play this Overlord. deck thin here. It's kind of weird. Everywhere land's obviously awesome. But this card drawing and then also drawing again whenever it goes away. Put a stun counter on up to one target tap creature. It's just kind of crazy. Authority comes in, sure. Split up is obviously a card that we might have to be prepared for. And there's a synthesizer, which does do some stuff. Try 2 here. The speed picked up now that this obviously resolved, which is fine. Smuggler Surprise, huge. A huge pickup here for sure. Yes. I guess shocking this probably won't matter all too much. I don't think. I mean, I guess I can just play this and do Overlord and shock that in later if I need to. Or what is it? A horror? They're horrors, right? Yeah, Avatar horror. I'm just excited for the Avatar set. I'm pretty pumped myself, to be honest. I'm actually watching Avatar for the first time, which is definitely something I've been judged for. Somebody's like, how was it your first time watching Avatar? I was like, dude, I don't know. I've watched bits and pieces of it when I was younger, but you know, it's kind of one of those. United Battlefront, sure. It was like watching bits and pieces of it when I was younger, where it was like, what? How do I want to say this? Oh, both my creatures getting answered here, so a card draw not going to happen, but you know, it is what it is. Only one construct going to get made here. Going to be a tough one, I think. Starting Town is the draw. Can I mill over here and put them in? I only have 7 mana. I say 7 mana like it's a small amount. My creature will enter tapped here. This is 6, 7, 8 is what's needed. So I can Esper Origin and then do it again and probably play Starting Town, I guess. Okay, so we want to grab the Vaultborn Tyrant, right? Yeah. So we do this again. We leave it exactly the same. It'll come back tapped, of course. An authority will trigger. A Vaultborn Tyrant will enter. A Starting Town can come down. The 2 mana can be made here. If I want to do all that, I do have a second Smuggler Surprise, obviously. A second Authority will gain them some amount of life. Spring-Loaded Trap going to be able enough to answer that, so the mana freely won't be made. They're kind of running on empty, but I do kind of lose to another United Battlefront, most likely. We have 4, 8 in turn. Obviously, we could do something pretty heinous in response. Remember, there's 2 authorities in play, so none of these will be able to sneak attack this construct by any means. So we might as well just take the 6 and call it a day. Hopefully they didn't rip a counterspell. The artifact deck doesn't typically play one. Oh, if you're curious where my Avatar journey is, I guess, the round back to that, because now I'm thinking about it. We are at the episode right before Toph joins. I think season 2, episode 6. Because I've seen a ton of clips of Toph, obviously. And I was just like, well, Toph's pretty funny when she joined the show. And then it's like this time. And I was like, oh, okay. I just don't want to play into like a board wipe or something. If it's a counterspell, it's a counterspell. And it is what it is. And I will mill over here, though. I mill over a hexproof. It's kind of weird. Nah, it's definitely mill over and grab. It's obviously going to be the River Region, the Vaultborn Tyrant going in, picking up their snare, making them pick up their construct. Tapping out matter. No. If it's a counterspell they have, it's going to be a No More Lies from Murders of Carla Manor. Mill and then put 2. So they'll have a counterspell for this regardless. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a Ureni coming in at some point. Obviously, Ureni maybe not the strongest in this matchup, especially when they don't have a ton of creatures. Does this resolve? It does. Okay. Overlord, Overlord, grab and grab. And then it's going to be, honestly, I kind of want it to be the boiler because of the amount of damage it just pumps out this turn. Yeah, so let's do this in the boiler, I guess. They'll gain 2/4. Boiler will shoot base, so it'll kind of neutralize that. We will make them pick up this and this. Boiler goes dome. Obviously, I guess maybe I should have played around Springler to trap. Yeah, alright. Fair enough. My bad. Sure. They have the 4 Springler to trap. I'm molding, I think. Sure. Then we barrel this attack. Cavern comes in. I guess we name Dragon. Go to combat. Obviously, these are going in. We could actually do something pretty sweet here. With Smuggler's Surprise, we can actually give our creature hexproof, and then it'll probably most likely win the game. They'll gain a little bit of life, but obviously we're going to go ahead and jam these things in regardless, because it could be do this, maybe, I don't know. Do some, I guess I'll have a construct, right? So we need to go as wide as possible. Alright, they jam a snare finally. They thought it through. Snare coming down. Snare targets. Synthesizer trigger. This can resolve just in case we do hit another River Regent. All maximum. Why is it the opposite way? Huh? What is happening? What? Why did it do that? Is this card broken? What? Why did it count as a library card? Because it went in my revealed pile. That's the only reason I knew it was there. And yeah, it's 100% lethal, so we get in there. Even if they remove a creature and block, this has protection from everything, so even the 7/7 cannot block it. But what was that? That was really weird. Thankfully, I kind of caught in the revealed card pile that Pelucranos was milled over. This isn't Pelucranos. Progenitus. Why do I keep saying Pelucranos? Progenitus got milled over. That's a weird one, man. I didn't know that that bug existed. But okay, well, we all learned something new, I guess. Going first with a hand like this is a bit weird, but I'll keep it just because this card has been a sleeper card of Final Fantasy, I think, as per Origins. It's just has such a weird kind of play to it, where it's just, yeah, like that, exactly. Perfect. You know what I mean? And we can use this 5 damage to creature or planeswalk, draw a card and discard. Not necessarily a thing we really love doing. The speed ticks up. Will another card come in? Sure. Like, obviously that sucks, but do I just establish the Overlord here that goes to 5? I think so. Puts this on 5 mana, which is 1 away from this, obviously. And then I can barrel this on a creature. Maybe a Sephiroth or something, even though maybe they'll play it, maybe they won't. You just play this tapped. This requires 3 mana to do. Maybe we just do that. Who knows? Sure. Card that I can answer. An Ill-Time Explosion can obviously do a lot of good here. Forsaken Miner, pretty good solid card here. Instant, so I guess enter tapped here. Honestly, maybe Esper Origins is the way to go. I think so. As weird that is. Try to get this Smuggler's Surprise guaranteed. And enter. Because the 2 mana off of this can actually help us do the mill plus the put in, because you need 8 mana. We'll have 5, 6, 7, 8. Or Hound, a good card. Ill-Time Explosion would still be kind of the best draw, but maybe. We're in so much danger here. Obviously, blocking here doesn't make any sense. No sacking? Why would you not sacrifice that? All right. We're trying to deck. Maybe it's just a miss trigger, but maybe we're trying to deck for the first time. It's possible, you know. You never know. All right. Well, I guess we're in prey territory at this point. Still a good one. I would argue that's a pretty good one. We'll just grab the forest because obviously the other card can't be put in. But these two. Do these. Kind of makes it awkward if they don't hit a land. Oh, they sacrifice. Interesting. Nothing to pay here. 2 damage to go. We do gain 6 here. So it makes kind of that whole scenario much harder. Maybe they'll hit the raise to past. It can't sacrifice itself. Now they're deciding on the nesting bot, I would assume. This is going to go away, but I much rather keep it, I think. At least I think so. I mean, I have 2 blockers, right? If I lose to a 1 Gorehound, then so be it. 1 turn for this. I can do the other Regent. Honestly, Regent putting everything back in their hands is just going to be such a good effective play. Raise to Past is kind of the scariest card. So isn't the Dew Point card. Bitter Triumph pitching the Caller, which is pretty good. If they pay for this, we're actually pumped. Maybe they'll dash this one. Maybe dashing is not the right word. Warping. In my walls. Help. Nesting bot. Now we're in the clear. Now this game, I feel, has objectively just... The game's now over. In my mind. And if you're curious why we have 6 mana, this is going to come up. I only need 6 mana. So let's play a Commercial District. Dumping Ground can go. And the reason why I say I think we're solid here is because of the fact that they cannot top deck Raise to Past and a basic land or any type of land at the same time, right? And their one kind of effect is gone. So even if they rip a Raise to Past or the Dewdrop, then we're fine. The only kind of fear would be the fact that they could obviously gain a lot of life with these and whatnot. So we'll see what's up. Will they attack? No. Okay. Let's go ahead and put these in the hand. I guess might as well not give hexproof because I didn't do any land shenanigans. Here and here. So I kind of want the boiler here and here, and I want the boiler to take out here. And I just said, I can't imagine there's a scenario in which this does any good at all. Maybe actually with the boiler, or no, with the bounce maybe. Maybe with the bounce we're supposed to target here. Well, then they still have to block. It's weird because like they can sacrifice these or they can block with them and then they get tokens back. Or if I remove it with this, they still get things back, right? But this has trample, so it's not like I can do much. This can go face if I want it to, and maybe it's supposed to in a spot like this because that makes this so close to lethal and also attacking again with its 8. So, I mean, that's just lethal in there. So maybe this isn't supposed to target a creature at all and just let this do all the work and then let this go to the dome. I mean, that makes sense. That makes more sense to me. But all right, cool. Very sweet. Definitely one miss trigger at one point, but then they played tight from the rest of the game, so it's obviously good. We're on the play. No blue mana, but Origins has already proven to be able to kind of fix a lot of problems, so we're going to try. Look at all these stomping grounds. This space land. I'm still on the edge if I, like, actually believe this is a space land. Like, obviously it is, but it's literally just a meteor shower, right? Well, I mean, I guess we might as well just Origin, right? See what we can find. Vaultborn against... Cavern against blue seems good. Makes cards resolve, right? Dragon or Dino, blue, black. Kind of what we figured it was. It's probably most likely... I don't know. It's so hard to tell. Blue black has such wide range. All right, well, it's that card, I guess. We need to shock, or am I able to play the cavern? I guess I can play cavern, but I don't really know what I want to name on cavern yet. Maybe dragon, I guess. Go ahead. See if they maybe make a mistake. They go to combat here. Obviously going to barrel this now. There is a potential for Kaido, so I'd much rather do this. 5 damage. Draw a card. Discard a card. Guess I can go land here, even though it's maybe not the best. And most likely they're going to play an Annex, which then allows me to play the Esper Origin here, which could help me find a land, but also give me 2 mana. And be a threat, right? So there's like multiple choices. 2 lands. Well, for a permanent draw, sure. Everything kind of coming together. Maybe the second lane could have gone, or I just took the cavern named Horror Dino or something along those lines. What is your plan, opponent? You know about the forest. There's summonings. There's Teamer. Obviously, Teamer's got a wide range. Bitter Triumph taking damage and going to take 2 more for the Annex. Okay. Maybe a counterspell here. All an interesting thing that we're experiencing here together. I almost want a River Regent, to be honest with you. Sure. I think if I try to jam a River Regent, it's way more likely for my Smuggler's Surprise to resolve. Like, barrel the 4 mana side of this. It's also possible that they go unlock here, just make a 5/5, and I'll take a little bit of damage. So now we have a choice. We think these 2 are just strong enough on their own, and honestly I tend to think so. Because I get to bounce this, basically killing it. They're stuck with this, and then they also have to kill my board. Sure, I'm pretty cool with it. My turn. Let's name Dino on this one. Let's barrel this. Do it now. Why blue-black doesn't have counterspells, obviously. This also gives me a double draw. Don't want to bounce this, honestly. I mean, I could have to make them repay for it, I guess, but I think that's just fine enough. If they destroy all creatures, obviously this makes another one. But then half my library is gone. If it's the blue-black board wipe, which is now active. Deadly Cover-Up could happen, I guess. Shoot the Sheriff takes that out. Okay. Sure. Uh-huh. Down to 13 for my opponent. Combat. Sure. My blue-black left. I didn't name Horror at any point, so I need to do this. We're gonna look to tuck this away. Well, I'll take a draw off of it. Give another shoot to Sheriff. Maybe I should have bounced this. I don't know. Just giving them another 6/6 on the back end just seemed bad. Maybe that's wrong, but who knows. Unfortunately, don't have a land for that. This can make any card uncounterable, which is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have enough. So honestly, okay, I was drawing this because I like things being uncounterable in general. Nice Sword Dragon. This is obviously whatever. I guess this tucks it where? Shuffles? Sure. Journey comes in, uncounterable. Picks up both of these. They obviously get a card draw here, which sucks, but it is what it is. Obviously, they're going to shuffle away my Tyrant, I think. Maybe they don't. Oh, I lose Arena here. But I do get to play River Regent, which is fine. Rennie's obviously gone. 1 mana available. Okay. So we didn't want to shuffle away my Tyrant, which is crazy to me. Down more life. Sure. We know what's on top. We know we can draw and discard if we really want to. Ballboard Tyrant's sweet. I can bounce this to make it really cost ineffective for them. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't want to bounce it because it's kind of annoying. I could have played it different. I could have played this, killed a thing, drew this land, played it as my land for a turn, and then played this, huh? Yeah, I guess so. The tight play I missed. Or even just playing this first before stumbling this land out there. Deep Cavern Bat, I kind of want to bounce to force him to have to play it to get my stuff back. And then obviously I still have the removal for it. But we're going to take the most mana efficient play, and then we're going to make that bat go away now. Then we pass. We still have a 6/7. A double attack here. Obviously block here. Ballborn Tyrant will untap. Cavern Bat comes down. There's only one card they don't know about. Definitely a better play to be had, and I just missed it, unfortunately. Hit a little too quick. One just like getting the land down. It's kind of one of those things where I just play it to get it out of the way, you know, but it is what it is. I think they're deciding whether attacking in and flashing this in is worth it. Alright, they do. You think it's worth it? Obviously, get rid of that. Is it Kaito? It is. Okay. Stun this maybe? Or stun this again?
Don't be jealous of my
sure.
Just in time to save the day.
Weird, because, like, it's just as good, but they get to keep 2 mana up by doing the Kaito instead. But obviously, sure.
Control the fight. Control the
Do I have good enough cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 7. Okay, no. Alright. Mr. Opponent, I'd like to move to combat. You have a Drowner? You do, don't you? You do. Sure. That's fine. Not obviously ideal, but I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. What is it? Kaido is obviously the problem. I don't want them to keep having a deep cavern. We have to answer Kaido. I know what the answer is. I keep not wanting to do it, but like it's the clear answer. Let's get rid of this. Go here, I guess. Ballborn gets another draw. Keep stressing his deep cavern bat play, I think. Ill-time explosion is obviously pretty solid, so if they do go committal here, 7 toughness and 6 toughness is pretty hard for them to beat. In terms of like if I cast this card, now how this card feels kind of bad to get rid of. Alright, sweet. Fair enough. This has also taxed them the entire game, by the way. I've not made contact with them a single time, and we're basically playing at pace, letting this card kill them. Our deck's just such a larger output than they have, so it doesn't matter that much. We most likely have another Flood Pits, or maybe a Tragic Trajectory to answer my 6/7. Now it's like, you still have to take this, because it has protection from black, and your main removal is that. You can't Kaido it. You can't cut down it. You can't shoot the sheriff it. Can't do anything to it. And you're not going to be playing board wipes. So you have to do it that way. Three mana. What's the option here, Chief? What do we got? Also, an Overlord would just be sick. Like the red one, because it obviously puts so much pressure on. I say that and I'm going to draw it like I'm cheating or something. Nah, they just don't have an option. Okay. Alright, so we had some pretty eventful games. The only thing I didn't really get to do is I didn't get to Arena once. I had it a couple of times, and the thread of it honestly did its job, where it was like, when I deep cavern value, I guess I have to take this card, right? So, not that it didn't do its job, but it did enough. It just being in my hand. All-Time Explosion was an awesome card all day. This card I just don't know. 5 damage is a lot. Works out well in a lot of spots. And the draw and discard works well. But we don't really have a way to prioritize anything in our graveyard. So it's a bit tough to have this. Like in best of one specifically, I almost feel like Torch the Tower would be a better option. Just in case we run into like the sack decks are running around everywhere. Or even lower to the ground decks. We do have enchantment, so we can sacrifice if we do need to kind of kick it, or what's it called? Bargain, if we need to bargain it. So with that said, this deck felt pretty good. Honestly, it's probably the best feeling Smuggler Surprise deck I've had in a long time. The joy of playing. I don't know. This was some list from Twitter, and I don't know whose it was. It's kind of one of those things where a buddy sent me the list, but they just sent me the deck list. And on Twitter, you know, you click the picture. It doesn't really say the player name or whatever. So unfortunately, I do not know who to give credit to about this. But Smuggler Surprise has been around for a while. It's been more of the combo version a lot of times. But this one just is more of a value. It feels a lot more kind of like Domain with a big over-the-top explosive play that you can do with Smuggler's Surprise. So with all that said and done, I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.